so they protect it in the land use plan, and let's say that the minister accepts it and goes forward and does accept the final land use plan, and it becomes the official plan. Under section 13 sub 4, the minister can do an exemption order. The minister is allowed to say, hold it a second, we now found a mine under grandfather's tombstone. I'm being a little bit dramatic, but you know what I'm getting at. And we think economically this is socially economical, the socio-economic benefits to Ontario are so important that we want to go ahead and develop that mine. First Nation would say, no, 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 you can't do it. The minister uses subsection 4 in section 13 of the Act and says, here's a 6-month notice. I'm going to go through a bit of a dog and pony show with you, but at the end of 6 months, if you haven't agreed, I'm going to override your land use plan. Well, no wonder First Nations are up in arms and don't want to accept Bill 191. So I make the offer again to the government. If you say you want a new relationship with First Nations, if you say that you want to give land use planning to First Nations to do what is right for them and what is right for the environment, if you truly mean all of these things, then you don't call this thing for a vote this evening for third reading. That you go back and you start back at the beginning and go back to First Nations and do what should have been done at the very first place and allow First Nations to work with you to develop what could have been a very good product. Because in the end, we could have all been winners in this process. And I want to make clear, First Nations, and this is not me saying this, First Nations have been saying this, that they will not allow development on their land if you pass 191 under this, you allow 191 as it stands. That they're going to have to do what they're going to do in order to protect their interests. And whatever happens now is going to be squarely on the lap of Dalton McGuinty, the Premier of this province. He holds the sole responsibility for whatever happens forward because he has been forewarned by First Nations, by municipalities across Northern Ontario, by chambers of commerce, by the Prospectors and Developers Association, by the mining industry of this province, that this bill is flawed, does not work, doesn't get us to where we want to go, and if First Nations, which I know will have to protect their interests, end up having to do civil disobedience, it will fall squarely on the lap of this government, and it will rue the day that they passed this act.